Hey guys, welcome to another episode of 2 and 3 Podcasts. I'm your co-host Jakia.
And I'm your co-host Keandra.
Our goal here is to heal, inspire, motivate, and to celebrate life being unapologetically free.
So we want you to sit back, chill, get comfortable, because we're about to talk about some things that's going to raise your brows.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
So today our topic is going to be how have experiences from your childhood affected your relationships and how you handle life as an adult. Let's get into it.
All right. So let's talk about finances. I feel like as a child or as a teenager, my parents didn't really talk to me about finances. Like, I couldn't tell you my mother's annual income. I couldn't tell you, what credit was. I couldn't tell you how much a phone bill was, a car note, a mortgage, any of that, because, they just never talked about it, It was always just go to college and get a degree in the healthcare field and make your money. You know what I'm saying? That's what the money is what I was told or whatever. Even though my mom was an entrepreneur my entire life or whatever, she never preached that to me. She just always said, go to school or whatever. And now as an adult, especially after having my own child or whatever, I feel like life hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, because I'm having to learn everything now on my own, as far as like literally I didn't know what credit was. I've never heard of it until college, when I took a class and they offered extra credit. And he was like, you got to go to this seminar where they're going to talk about credit, get them to sign a paper, bring it back to class, you get extra credit. And I was like, okay, cool. I went, and he talking about stuff that sound like a foreign language to me. I'm like, what is this stuff? He talking about interest rates and credit cards and stuff like that. And that's when I went to my mama and I was like, this man, he was talking about credit cards and stuff like that or whatever. And then that's when she told me, like, go here, get this student credit card, it's this limit. She was like, don't spend more than like 30% of it, stuff like that. And she was like, just use it for groceries and gas. So, like, that's all she told me about it. She didn't say anything about interest rates. She didn't say anything like that or whatever. And it's not to bash my mom or anything like that, because my mom didn't come from wealth, you know what I'm saying? She literally is the money maker of her family or whatever. So everything she learned on her own as well or whatever. And you really can't teach people things you don't know. So I don't blame my mom for any of this. So mom, if you're watching this,
the same thing go for me when I start talking.
If you're watching this, it's no offense at all. I don't blame you for anything. I love you dearly or whatever, but this is my truth or whatever. Sure. So that's just how it was financially. What you think?
Now for me, I'm gonna say just now, me realizing what was going on as a child, I was just not raised to think healthy about finances. Like, to me as a child, finances meant struggle. Like, that's what I was raised in, a struggle. I watched my mom break her back to provide for one child. I don't have any siblings. I was raised in a single parent home, so my mom took care of herself and me. My mom did not like to ask anybody for anything. Nothing. So guess what she would do? Work 1, 2, 3 jobs at a time. So yeah, I just did not look at money in a healthy way, because I watched my mama chase it all my life. And for it still to be lower middle class, to be working all those hours for nothing, to be working to meet ends every time. That's just nothing that I ever desired. But I'm not saying that to say I wasn't taken care of. She did all of that so that I could have better than she did have, you know. So I never went without anything. I never didn't have what I needed. I always got more than what I needed. So it was never anything like that. Now, when I started, it's like I knew that we weren't wealthy, but the fact that I was taken care of, I did not care. Now, when I started to, I guess, really see that we weren't in the best financial situation was probably when I started being active in school. So probably starting in middle school. Of course, I started cheering and stuff. So stuff is due. You got fees. You got to pay for this. You got to pay for that. Then we got in high school and it got a little different, but it really hit home when I got to college. So freshman year, of course, I'm in college, get the scholarship. What was it, the lottery scholarship? Got the lottery scholarship, honey. Just say I flunked that first semester. I did. I didn't go home. My mama, she wasn't finna let me come home, so my mom ended up having to pay out of pocket. Like, I had to get more loans, and my mom had to pay out of pocket, and that's when I realized that, honey, we ain't got no money. Like, that's when I started getting emotional about finances, because all I could think about was how I'm gonna get this paid for, Like, that's how my mind could think about it. Honestly, since then, that's how my mind has been working. Like, how I'm gonna get something paid for. Like, but I think that's how my mama always thought when I was a little girl, how I'm gonna get something paid for. So, like I said, I was just raised in struggle. So, not being raised in a healthy financial environment is hard to teach yourself how to have a healthy relationship with something you weren't brought in. So it's been a struggle for me since I've graduated from college to transition into an independent adult on how to actually manage my finances, on how to be successful with finances, because it's still a struggle. Like, I don't know, the struggle mentality is what I was brought up on, and I'm 28 and I still have that kind of mindset, and it's hard for me to unlearn it. And I think the brown and black community, that's just something that we struggle with finances, and we don't stress that enough. It's like we complain about it, but it's like the resources are there, but the knowledge as a whole in the community is not there.
I also think, like you said, the community is not there. I definitely think that, like, as we become adults, you know what I'm saying, and we learn it, you know what I'm saying, we go through it, I think the disconnect happens is when we don't pass it on to our kids.
Yeah. Like
I said, my mom never talked about it, and I know she meant no harm about it, you know what I'm saying?
Because, but it's something she wants to stray away from too, because I do not even like to think about my finances. I'm gonna be real with you, because I'm not financially where I want to be. So to see this is what I feel like. Even though I am, and this is no offense, even though I am in a better position than my mama was when she was my age. My mama had a kid when she was my age. My mama had just not too long moved out from my grandma when she was my age. I am 28, no kids, been out of the house for 10 years, real life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm grateful for what I do know, but I still feel like financially I'm still in the same situation that my mama was in when she was my age. I'm trying to break the curse. I'm trying to break this. Like, this, I'm gonna be 30 next year. Like, I am uncomfortable, and I realize that uncomfortability comes with another hurdle that is moving forward, but I feel like I've been in the uncomfortable position for 10 years since I graduated high school.
It's because you're constantly having to learn on your own, and it's hard. You know what I'm saying? It's hard having to learn everything on your own when, you know what I'm saying, if you would have had somebody leading the way for you. Like I said, no offense to our parents,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I really want to make that clear, it's no offense. But, if, you know what I'm saying, if that's just like, if you think about people who are wealthy, you know what I'm saying? They pass that knowledge down to their kids, so when they become of their age, they're already set in stone. First of all, they pass down the wealth.
I was gonna say,
You know
not
what I'm saying?
even if they don't pass down the knowledge, they're passing down the capital. And let me go back to what you said. You said that your mama didn't, you didn't know anything about credit cards until you got to college. Now, when I got to college, my mama kept on saying, get a credit card, get a credit card. But like I told you the other day, I always looked at credit cards. You got the credit, but you ain't got the money to pay them back. So what would you be getting a credit card for? It's like, she told me to get the credit card. And she didn't tell me this 2 years later, but she told me to get the credit card, but I didn't have a job, so I was thinking, I'm not going to ask you for money to pay for my credit card. Like, that's how I was thinking already at 19. I don't want you to pay my bills. But she didn't tell me until years later. I was telling you to get the credit card. I was going to just put you, like, what is it called when you put somebody on your account?
Authorized.
Yeah, she said she was going to do that, but she did not explain that to me, so I was running away from it. Like, I could have been building my credit when I was younger, so no. That did not happen. So once I got out of college, I had to build my credit from nothing.
But I can say this: I've been working since I was 15. Like, my mama went and got my job for me.
Not me, not one of mine.
No, she went and got my job for me. And you know, one thing she always says, like, when you start collecting bills and having kids and stuff, like, them your bills and them your kids. I'm not taking care of your kids and I'm not paying your bills. So, like, she kind of, like, literally nailed that in my head. So when I got of age and I did started picking up bills like rent and car notes and stuff like that, that's one thing I don't play about. Like, my payment history, I don't play. Like, my bills get paid before we eat around this thing, because my bills get paid.
I got to eat. I'm going to pay them bills. Y'all go get that money. Y'all go get it, but I got to eat.
I do not play about my payment history.
I don't either. I ain't saying that, but I like to eat.
No, but seriously, like, I don't play about paying my bills, because I just feel like if I fail, like, you know what I'm saying, that if something happens, like, who's gonna help me? Because my mama always said that they're my bills.
Let me chime in. I'm gonna be a realist right here. I ain't saying she ain't. I'm just being very transparent right now. The pandemic hit. This is just me being as honest as I know how to be. When the pandemic hit in 2020, I'm a sister just as my girl is right next to me. I was keeping up with their payment history, but them folks laid me off. They laid me off. I had to get out here and put these feet to the pavement. I ain't gonna lie, these past 2 years, that payment history ain't been looking too squeaky clean.
And that's understandable. That is definitely understandable.
But
life happens.
I ain't gonna lie, everybody ain't been communicating. I've been dodging a few folks.
Like them student loans.
Oh, they ain't never gonna get that. Sally, hit it. Joe, forget it. I'm not giving y'all that money. I said
you
that.
better cancel them.
No, y'all should never gave it to me. It's not real anyway. You made it that number. Goodbye. But, you know, like, stuff does happen. I'll eat. Oh, no. I'm going to give me something to eat. But anyway, back on track.
Oh, my God.
I mean,
that is real, though.
Real, you know?
But, you know, for me, you know what I'm saying?
I felt like I was back in college.
I just always felt like if I fail, who's gonna help me?
No,
because even though I know that my mom and my parents will help me, you know what I'm saying, like, if I really need it. But I'm one of their responsible kids, so even if I ask them for something, I feel like they think I'm playing. Because I'm always the one that just don't never ask for anything. So
I don't like to ask for things, because this is how I feel, and I've been having this conversation with people a lot. Money makes people act funny. So asking people for money makes me feel as if people think that they have something to carry over me. Because honestly and truly, people do not do things out of the kindness of their hearts, no matter what the fuck they say. They do not. Let something happen, baby, they're going to throw it in your face. So I don't like to ask. I will, and this may sound bad, and this may sound crazy to most people, but I would much rather struggle than ask somebody for something, because I don't want you to say anything about my decision about why I'm asking you for the money in the first place, and I don't want you to feel as if I owe you something because I asked you for money. So,
And see, my mindset now, you know, if somebody asks me for something, which people don't ask me for stuff a lot, but they used to, you know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people abuse that or whatever because everybody know I'm so kind and giving and stuff like that. And people have,
know, I mean.
Especially men, but that's another subject for another day or whatever. But
I ain't lying to you, that nigga ain't never asked me for a dime, baby.
Woo! Anyway, girl, woo, that's another subject for another day. But anyway,
ask your mama. Okay.
Not your mammy.
Somebody.
But no, seriously. So my mindset now is kind of like, I really don't be wanting to help people, and it makes me feel bad. I would help people like if I know they need, like if my friend came to me and was like, you know, hey, I'm having a hard time, here you go. And my friends know they don't have to pay me back or whatever, unless you ask me to like, hey, I need to borrow some money, and you say I'm gonna give it back to you, then I'm gonna be expecting my money back. But most of the time I don't expect my money back. Most of the time I tell them like, don't even worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got you. Like, be cool or whatever. But I really forgot where I was going with that. Damn, I hate when I do that.
Why? Because you said this about them folks borrow their money, baby.
Girl, that threw me off. That threw me off because men, like,
you know, you just nice.
That's
why Steve Drake said nice to these niggas for what? I ain't that nice.
Yeah.
I have never, I'm lying. Let me tell you how this. This is just a little bit. I had a dude about 2 weeks ago ask me for some money. Boy, if you don't get your butt up off this phone, I said, Pimp ain't even got to give. What's wrong with you?
He just needed a couple dollars.
He gonna say something. No, that's what he said. Help me till I get back on my feet. Nigga, I'm on my tiptoes.
My girl said she on her tiptoes. Like, I'm barely on my own feet, nigga. We in a pandemic.
How am I gonna help you? Nigga, help me.
We in a pandemic.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, this pandemic been kicking my butt.
You know, and I thought about that too. It's a good and a bad with it. You know, I think it propelled us to where we needed to be. I'm not gonna complain about it at first. Well, 2020, I had a ball, baby. I had a ball. I ain't gonna lie, the pandemic, I had a ball. But then the end of 2020, that's really what it was. Then the end of 2020, that's when life started hitting again. I felt like I was pushed back into right after college life. That's where I feel like I've been stuck again since the end of 2020.
Yeah, and because both of our parents were single moms for a period of time. How do you feel like that has affected you? Like, as far as watching your mom be a single mom as a child, and how that has affected you now as an adult?
I don't want to raise kids by myself. That's what I learned. I don't want to do that. I desire stability. Not even for myself, but for my unborn. Like, it's too much for one person to handle. And that's just obvious. That when people say a village, it takes a village, literally. Even though it's going to take more than just you and the person that made the child, it's the bare minimum to at least have the person who made the child with you in the home. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's, if it ain't working, it ain't working. I get it. I get it. But that is what I desire for my life. Like, I don't want to struggle. I don't want to have to break my back and work 1,000 jobs that I honestly don't want to work just to provide for me and my child, to put food on the table, to pay for us to have a roof over our head. So it's just, it's showed me what I don't want for my life. That's what being raised in a single parent home. But at the same time, it has also showed me strength. It has showed me resilience. It has built a warrior. Like, my mom is strong. Like, I'm never gonna take that away from her. Like, look at me. Like, what? Like, look at my girl. Like, her mama's strong too, you know? So it's just like, never gonna take that away. I hate that my mama was even in the situation that she was in. If I can go back, like, I would give her a different life, you know? Like, make it to where she didn't have to do those things. Like, I know my mom always like told me like she wanted better for me. You know, she didn't want me to be her, and I truly do see that. But yeah, like, it just showed me that I'ma do things different. Simple as that.
Yep. For me, I think that it kind of has impacted me in a negative way, more so positive, only because I watched my mom work her butt off. Like, my mom was an entrepreneur. She was a cosmetologist my whole life or whatever, and I watched her work from like sun up to sundown. Like, my mama would go to work at 6 a.m. sometimes and not come home till 10, 11 o'clock at night. Like, literally be up on her feet working all day long. And it just, she wasn't a very present mom sometimes because she worked so much or whatever. And I feel like it has made me, one, super independent, you know what I'm saying, to the point where it can be, what's the word I'm looking for? Intimidating, when it comes to having a partner, because I'm so independent. Yeah, I'm a dominant woman. Like, I'm gonna go get my money by any means necessary, literally. Like, I'm gonna get this paper, period. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna work my butt off for my money. Like, if I ain't making no money, I feel like I'm not doing nothing. I'm not doing enough. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like I got that from her because, like, literally I seen her work 24/7, and she provided a good life for us or whatever. And I've seen what, the fruits of her labor. So for me, it's like, okay, I need to be working constantly, you know what I'm saying, to provide this life or whatever. But I also battle with that because I have a son now, and I always said that I never wanted my work to come before him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that my mom's work came before me or my siblings or whatever, but I feel like she felt like she had to work so much to provide a certain life for us, you know what I'm saying? And I feel myself going in that cycle sometimes, and I hate it because I really, really, really value being a present mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, this one thing I've always said is that I want Xander to be like, my mom was always there. I don't want him to be like, my mama was always at work. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's something that has, I battle with every day. Because, of course, I'm a cosmetologist now. Well, technically, I'm not a cosmetologist. I'm a certified braider. But I do hair or whatever. And basically living the same life my mama was living at my age, except for at the time she had 2 kids. She had my older sister and me. And at the time now, I just have Xander or whatever. But I'm literally living the same life. Just like you said, you live in the same life as your mama. I'm living the same life as my mom. And the only difference is that I work from home. You know what I'm saying? She actually left to go work at a salon or whatever. But I work from home so I can be that present mom for my son. It kind of gives me that balance, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's kind of what watching my mom be a single mom has done for me in my adulthood.
I will say this. I believe that our parents worked so hard because they did want to provide and do better for us and give us more than what they did have.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I feel as if this is a disconnect within the brown and black community. Things, it's not love. Not having that quality time with your child is a disconnect. Like, that is a strain. Like, that really affects children, and I don't think parents realize that because they're just so in a gotta go get it, gotta provide, gotta make stuff happen kind of mindset. But that child ain't looking at that. That child is thinking, like you just said, my mama not here. Like, where my mama at? Where my daddy at? You know? So it's just kind of like, I'm grateful that I'm in this position, that I do not have kids because I do not have my life together. I do not want to have to break my back. I don't want to have to be figuring out my life while I'm having to raise a kid at the same time. So I'm grateful that I'm not in that position that she was, but it's still just kind of like, financially I am. So it's just kind of like,
yeah, it's like this. Like, it's like a battle every day from the way that you are brought up. How do you feel like the way you were brought up affects you emotionally and mentally? You know what I'm saying? As an adult, like, did anything that you feel like your parent did or said, affects, your mental state or emotional state as an adult?
I've had to teach myself how to control my temper.
That's good.
I really have had to teach myself how to control my temper. I'm still aggressive, I ain't gonna lie. I can still be loud, but I've learned that my voice and my words are passionate to me, so that's what my voice carries, and it can come off as being aggressive. But when I was younger, it was anger and aggression. And I know that I picked it up from my mom. When I was a child and I would get in trouble, she would holler at me. So any kind of disagreement, any kind of confrontation, the words would be hollering, just getting yelled at and whoopings, so it was just never a calm situation to actually sit down and understand and talk to me. It was never that soothing, affectionate kind of parenting. It was the I'm on your ass type of parenting, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's just how I went through life. Like, it's a hard body, and honestly and truly, baby, I'm soft. I have a hard outer shell, but in the inside, no. It's just the environment that I was raised in and how I was parented as far as dealing with confrontation or just dealing with a situation that I didn't agree with. It was so learning how to control that and really think about how I react to things before I react has been one of the biggest challenges that I've had to overcome in my adulthood, but I know that I've overcome it just simply because I know myself. I used to be out here, I ain't even gonna lie to you, baby. Fighting.
Look, if they know you, they know from high school and stuff. But I tell you all the time, and I haven't told you lately, but I used to tell you all the time how proud I am of, the person you are today. And I think it's so beautiful how you evolved over the years and stuff, because, of course, I know you have been knowing you for all this time or whatever, and to see the person you are today is like a totally different person. And I kind of hate sometimes, like, if we go somewhere and we see somebody that we know from high school, something, they kind of approach you like you're still that person. It bothered me too, because I'd be like, she ain't that person no more.
Yeah,
Stop
and I
coming
know
at
that's
her
how
like
it's going to be
that.
at this reunion and all. I already feel like I'm going to have to cuss a few folks out.
No, we...
I swear I don't act like that no more. I be trying to laugh at stuff now because I don't even like to be angry.
But it is crazy though, because like I can see it. Like sometimes when people like say something or do something to you, and you be like, no, and you just have this smile on your face and stuff. And the other time, the old Keandra used to be,
baby, stop playing with me.
Like, don't play with her.
Drag you.
Yeah.
Stop playing with me.
But I think it's funny how when we talk about how we were raised as far as discipline and stuff, and how you said you got whoopings and would be yelled at and stuff. I didn't get whoopings. I don't feel like I did anything bad enough to get a whooping, but my mom was a yeller as well or whatever, and I was sensitive, and I'm still sensitive. And I think it's funny how we picked up on different ways to cope with that. You know what I'm saying? You kind of mimic, and I kind of shut down. So for me, I was always quiet, sensitive, emotional, crybaby type person. Like, and I still am that today. So it has made me be not so open and vulnerable. It's like a wall. And for me to get past stuff, like when I get angry or I get mad or something like that, I have to literally tell myself, well, my defense mechanism is, or my coping mechanism is to like tell myself I don't care. I used to just be like, I don't care, and just throw it in the back of my mind or whatever, and it just piles up. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that plays a part in my anxiety, because I got real bad anxiety. But that's because I just keep everything bottled up. I don't really voice my opinion. Like, if somebody started to yell at me or come at me with some conflict.
I'm sorry, y'all. I choked because I'm about to. No,
I'm just playing.
I'm choking because. Side note. I bought this girl a journal so that she can release this anxiety, and she looking at it.
I am looking down at it.
Sorry, that's what she wanted me to say that. That's why that throat. getting caught up like this.
Yeah, I'm looking down at it. No, but seriously, but like, yeah, I keep things bottled up inside, and that's a part of me. Like, now is where I be saying I want to set myself free. You know what I'm saying? I don't be talking about like relationships and stuff like that. I be talking about freeing from my own mind.
Yeah.
Because I keep so much stuff bottled in, and it's because when I was younger, you know what I'm saying? Like, I used to just be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like, with my mama, I couldn't voice my opinion.
I was told to be quiet.
Yeah.
Why? Like, why did they? It's like parents get mad at kids for talking, but why they want us to be quiet? That's why I talk so much, because you wanted me to be quiet, and I feel like that's why I talked a lot then, but I know that's why I talk a lot now.
So, like, when she would yell, I would just be quiet, and I would just sit there and I would cry or whatever, and I would just be quiet, because I know if I say anything, that adds fuel to the fire. And so instead of voicing my opinion, I would just keep it all inside.
I wonder why yours was the opposite effect of mine.
I don't know. That's why I said I think it's funny how for me it was a shutdown thing, but for you it was like a raw.
I didn't know to my mama. No, it made me shut down for sure. But to other people, I wasn't backing down.
Yeah, and to other people, see, I just would like shy away from it. Like, if somebody came at me wrong, because I mean, a lot of people may disagree, but I feel like a lot of people tried to bully me in school and stuff like that. I feel like they didn't bully me because of who my friends were.
Because I ain't no bully. But I ain't going.
But because they know my friends did not play or whatever. But I feel like it was a few people that tried me sometimes, and I was quiet. You know what I'm saying? I used to just brush it off and be like, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't the type to be with the rah-rah. I didn't like confrontation. I didn't like any of that. You know what I'm saying? So I used to just be the bigger person and walk away or whatever. And like I said, keep things bottled up inside. But when it comes to like relationships and stuff, like my friendships or romantic relationships and stuff like that, I be needing closure. So it may take me a while or whatever, but eventually we gonna have to face it, and it's gonna eat me alive. Like, I'm literally gonna drive myself insane, going back and forth in my head on if I should do something before I actually do it. And after I do it, I'll be like, wow, it wasn't even that serious. Like, I could have just did this a long time ago or whatever. But like I said, that'd be my anxiety and not wanting to face it or whatever, because I don't like confrontation. Of the moment somebody raises their voice or disagree or get angry and stuff like that, like, I just be like, oh no, Jesus, like, no. And I just shut all the way down. It's a wall, boom, or whatever. I just don't like it, because I'm a very soft-spoken person. So don't yell at me. Like,
yelling at me
just don't yell at me.
My blood start to speed up and I start to sweat. It's like yelling at me triggers a defense. Like, I feel like I gotta fight. That's literally what yelling makes me feel like. I have to fight.
And see, now with me having a kid, like, if you know me, it's two things I don't play about: my son and my money. And so now with me having a kid, I feel like a mama bear. And it's just like, I've never seen myself so angry to the point where I'm ready to attack somebody. So I just know, like, I'm super overprotective of my son, and I just don't want the day to come where somebody try me, because
it ain't.
I'm gonna be scared of myself. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen myself that angry before. Yeah. So it's just like, I just don't want that day to come. Last question. So do you think that you've been living for your parents? Like, the way your life is going is went this way because of decisions you made, not for yourself, but for the sake of your parents?
It was until the pandemic. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I did not realize it, but I was trying to please my mama. It's not that she told me to please her. It's just, that's what I felt like I needed to do. That's what I felt was the right thing to do, was to make her happy, but I wasn't happy. And the but is a contradiction, so that's how you know I was not happy. I was not free. I know that I was complaining. I even know to this day that I was complaining to her when I was in college that I didn't want to work for anybody. Like, I've always wanted to be my own boss. Like, that is just, And I went to school to try to be a physical therapist and went into corporate America, just doing it because I can, not doing it because I wanted to do it. So, no, when the pandemic came, I stopped doing stuff that I didn't want to do. And I've been struggling not to do stuff that I didn't want to do since, because they'll be pulling on my mental. So, yeah, I know that I have for sure. I know when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a lawyer. When I got to high school, something happened to my mom, so I changed and wanted to be a physical therapist, and just changed my whole mindset on my whole life, and just really doctored it to be for my mama, but not knowingly. But now I know. Like, I was trying to help. Like, I'm a helper. Like, I know I was put here to help, no matter what kind of help it is, because I can do so much. But the fact that my mama needed help, I felt like I was supposed to be that person to help her. Yet I was leaving myself behind. So yeah, I know I was. What about you?
Yeah, definitely was living for my mom for a long time. Not even just my mom, my dad too, because like my dad, I like to tell people I have the best of both worlds. So growing up, I used to always be like, oh, I just want to make my daddy proud. I just want to make my mama proud. Like, I watch my mom work so hard, you know what I'm saying? And my daddy just showed me so much love and affection. I used to just be like, I just want to repay them for those things, you know what I'm saying? So, when my mama, like, I can remember in high school, like, not even knowing what I wanted to do with my life. I thought I was going to go to hair school, but my mama was like, nah, you going to college. You know what I'm saying? You go to college, like I said earlier, get in the healthcare field, because that's where the money is. You know what I'm saying? That's what she used to say, or whatever. Like, that's where the money is. Like, that's where you need to do. That's what you need to do.
Been saying that same story for
years. Because that's literally all she used to say to me. Like, literally, she used to be like, so I'm in high school researching jobs. And, she said she wants to be a physical therapist. And me, I used to be like, well, I don't want to be no physical therapist, because everybody want to be a physical therapist.
Literally.
Like, what? Why is that even my way of thinking? Like,
no,
everybody.
If everybody want to do it, I don't want to do it.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do occupational therapy. So when I got to school, y'all, it was like a slap in the face. Like, first of all, I went into MT as pre-occupational therapy, but I didn't know what that meant. I just thought that, like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm going to be occupational therapy. I'm going to be an occupational therapist or whatever. And but what that meant was I get my prereqs at MT, and then once I get my prereqs, I apply to medical school. You know what I'm saying? But my way of thinking, I was like, well, no, I want my degree from MTSU or whatever. But not knowing, because nobody told me, that MT will offer you, kind of like an honorary 4-year degree once you graduate med school.
But you still gotta go though.
Yeah, but you gotta go to med school and graduate.
None of us knew that. Nobody explained none of that pre-stuff to us. We didn't know. I was pre-physical therapy at first.
And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna just change my major to biology so I can get this 4-year degree.
Wrong decision.
Girl, like earlier when you said you basically almost flunked out.
That was my original major, biology.
Girl, no, my second semester. And so y'all, listen to me. Listen to this. This was my way of thinking. So I had an advisor. Freshman advisor. You have to have an advisor. Your schedule has to be approved by your advisor when you're a freshman. So this second semester, I did good, all A's and B's first semester. I'm signing up for second semester, and I'm taking stuff like history. I hate history. Psychology, and which I actually like that class. And then A&P, anatomy and physiology, right? And she was like, okay, anatomy and physiology is really hard or whatever. She was like, it's not like your high school anatomy and physiology and stuff where you just learning all 206 bones and stuff or whatever, 10 however many bones in the body or whatever. But she was like, it's really hard. You're gonna be in like a setting with 200-300 students, and your teacher's just gonna be sitting down there lecturing. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna have all this homework and stuff. So I'm like, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? And then she was like, tried to offer me another option. She was like, Nashville State has community college. Community college.
You should have said
OTA has a 2-year
She thought my girl was trying to play her. She was really trying to help her out.
OTA, Occupational Therapy Assistant program. She was like, it's 2 years. You go, you graduate, you work in the field. She was like, some places will pay for you to go back to school for full occupational therapy. She was like, but this is the way to get your foot in the door. You'll already be working in the field, and all you have to do is just go back to school to get your OT or whatever. And I was like, what you trying to say? You trying to say I can't do it? Like, what you trying to say, that this little black girl, because she was a white woman, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, what you trying to say, this little black girl can't pass A and P? And didn't. I flunked. Like, I literally stopped going after my midterm. I stopped going to class.
I mean, I should have,
because you know you only get 3 grades. You get your first test, your midterm, and your final. And if you don't pass the first test, you done failed the class. So I didn't pass the first test. I was like, maybe I can get at least a little low C in the class if I pass my midterm. No. I failed the class so bad. I failed that. I failed history. I made a C in psychology, and I forgot the other class I had, but it was a D.
Second semester flop.
My GPA was like a 2.1. Oh my goodness. I wanted to quit so bad. I never wanted to quit anything so bad in my life.
Me too. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
But I went back and I finished and stuff. But you know what I'm saying? I did that for my mom, and now I'm sitting here in all this debt. I don't know who's gonna pay it back.
Sally not getting a dime back.
I don't know who.
Well, they got a couple of payments. I mean, then the good pandemic came, and you ain't getting it.
I don't know who's gonna pay it back. But I mean, all this debt and for a degree that I don't use.
With George Washington coming back and giving them their money, because I'm not.
And I changed my major. I even went to my advisor crying because I was like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I can't do this biology stuff or whatever. I don't want to do it. And she was like, and then I went and I changed my major to physical education, a PE teacher.
Like, that's what they think physical therapy. I mean, exercise science was. Ooh, you want to be a PE teacher? That's so disrespectful.
And I think I spent like 2 or 3 semesters in physical education, and I thank God I was able to transfer those credits to a minor. So my minor was health and physical education or whatever. But I didn't like that program because I was a cheerleader. So I wasn't on the basketball team and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't good at nothing but the gymnastics class or whatever.
You had to take gymnastics?
Yeah, I had to take a gymnastics class. I had to take a tennis class. I had to take like fundamental skills type class where I had to know how to kick, throw, jump, skip, hop, stuff like that. Physical education.
Be a trainer or something?
No, to be a PE teacher, physical education. But they wanted us to teach elementary kids. You know, with elementary kids, you literally have to teach them motor skills and stuff or whatever. Okay. And I guess they felt like, and they kind of like graded us on our skill capability. And I'm just looking like, you can't grade me on that. Like, I could teach anybody how to throw. That don't mean I know how to throw. You know what I'm saying?
Well, how you gonna teach and you don't know how to do it?
You could do that. I could teach you how to throw. But yeah, so they tried to grade us on our skills and stuff like that, and I just hated it. I felt discriminated against because I was more of a girly girl cheerleader, and all the football, basketball players and athletes was in that, you know, department or whatever. And then she was trying to force me and tell me that, like, when I graduated, I was gonna have to get a job in elementary school, and I was like, I don't want to teach that. I want to teach high school. And she was like, well, there probably won't be any jobs. I said, well, I won't have a job because I don't want to teach little kids or whatever. But yeah, I changed that to a public health degree. And the degree was pretty cool, like the curriculum, the teachers, the professors and stuff. Like, it was a pretty cool program or whatever, but it was boring. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I knew that for a fact. I'm not a 9 to 5, go to work and do the same thing every day type person. It's
boring.
It's super boring, and I can't do it or whatever.
Bored. Always have, always will.
But yeah, I mean, I can. So yeah, college was for my mom, and I also don't feel like I networked enough and stuff in college. Like I said, I looked at it as like high school. You know what I'm saying? It was something I had to do or whatever. So once I finished doing it, I was just like, okay, so what now?
It's like I wanted to go, but It was school. I just wanted to go. I didn't want to do school.
Like, I feel like at 18, it's just not a decision.
It's just too big of a decision to be trying to make for the rest of your life. Like,
it was a lot.
But hey, I mean, learned a lot. Not from school, just from the environment.
Yeah, definitely learned a lot from the environment.
But if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't go.
No. Well, I would go for something more.
It'll be different. It'll be a different major. Yeah. Let me say that for sure.
Yeah.
If I had to go.
Yeah. And I wouldn't have went right out to college either, though. I would have waited until I kind of figured myself out or whatever and got to experience life. And then once I figured out what I wanted to do in my life, I would go to college to something that related to it or whatever. But I think the issue is allowing kids, like at 18, you're still a kid. You don't have the mindset of an adult. So allowing kids to make those type of decisions at that age of what they want to do for the rest of their life when they haven't even experienced life. You know what I'm saying? You've been under your parents' roof. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had strict rules and stuff you had to follow. So when you get 18 and can't nobody tell you what to do and stuff, like, you ain't trying to hear that.
Yeah, that first year out of high school, that...
I'm telling you.
You ain't, no, you free.
You free.
You trying to be out here.
You outside.
No, for real.
You outside or whatever.
No, if I would go back, it would be for psychology. I've been saying that since 2013. Like, I love the mind. I've learned the mind, though, just from learning life. But I would for sure go back for that.
Yep, most definitely. So, I feel like the lesson from today's episode is parents, we should focus more. I say we because I am a mom, and something I feel like I should keep in the forefront of parenthood is teaching our kids about life. You know what I'm saying? Letting them make their own decisions, letting them voice their opinions. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a gentle parent gang mom or whatever. And I like to tell people all the time that gentle parenting is not about the kid. It's about you. It's about you controlling your emotions, yourself, or whatever. And not looking at your child as like your, I don't want to say slave. That's a bad word. Not looking at yourself as their superior, but as their teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like, not them obeying you, but them learning from you. So everything that you do, like the yelling, the screaming, the whooping, or whatever, they're learning those things from you. You know what I'm saying? And they're reacting to you. So everything that they do is a reaction of you. So I feel like we should keep that in mind.
Piggying back off of what she said about your child is basically learning from you. I think what needs to be realized is that how you're reacting to your child is how your child is going to honestly react to everything in the world. So it starts in the home. I don't think people realize that once that child leave from you, they are a walking mirror of everything that you do. So it's like, when parents choose to get upset at their child, they're getting upset at themselves and they're not even realizing it. So yeah, just be mindful of what you're going through in your life before you put it on your kid and you not realize it, because your child gonna suck it up. They a sponge and they can't help but to be a sponge because they don't know anything. So yeah, just be mindful of yourself because your child gonna pick it up.
So yeah, and I guess that'll be it. So
I think that's gonna wrap it up this episode.
2 and 3, we out.
Yeah.